Another episode of the Autumn Windbags. RJ Clifford, Juan Soto. Let's have some fun today. And the Raiders, probably only home game of the season. 65% Raider fans.
Dude, it was sounding like 70, 80%.
Despite the best efforts of a defense that absolutely outplayed itself, and a fourth-round rookie quarterback who turned the ball over 3 times, it was still a game up until the waning minutes, until interception by Farva turned the ball over. Raiders fall to the Chargers 17-24 in week 4. Josh Jacobs played his heart out. Maxx Crosby played his heart out.
The leaders did. Crosby.
Aiden O'Connell played like a rookie, but flashed a little, here and there. And Josh McDaniels did a couple giant brain farts. And
Josh McDaniels pulled a full Pete Carroll. And
the Raiders let one slip away. I couldn't believe how close this game was. Well, it was 24-7 at the half. And the Raiders, with a backup rookie 4th-round quarterback coming in on like a day's notice, pulled it within 7 and within 5 yards. And Josh McDaniels, offensive guru, says, "Oh, yeah, I know we have a $12 million running back that's super hot right now, but let's have Aiden O'Connell roll out, Mr. Nimble on his feet." What is Aiden O'Connell's 40 time? I'm going to look it up. Have him roll out and throw the ball with the game on the line when there's 3 minutes left in the game, and you have to be killing time. You've got Josh Jacobs. You run the ball 4 times in that situation every single time, no brainer.
Before I talk about the game, who do you think was slower 40 time? Tom Brady or Aiden O'Connell? Pick it right now.
Shit.
Pick it right now. Come on. Don't look. Pick.
I'm going to say Aiden.
Okay. We'll see. I don't know the answer.
Let's look at it. Okay, Aiden O'Connell 40 time. Do you want to guess Aiden's 40 time?
What are you playing?
What?
That might be on my end.
Yeah, it's you.
So, Aiden O'Connell played like a rookie making his first start. I think that maybe we're not taking that into account because it's not the first game of the season, and it's not like, young for Carolina or any these guys didn't have great games either the first game of the season.
Yeah.
But our play calling in the first half, our defense and our offensive line the entire game didn't do him any favors.
Yeah.
There's some things that I was very encouraged by, but when push comes to shove, you don't punt the ball. That's why you have Daniel Carlson. That's why you give him that big contract to kick that field goal, and you get that 4th down stop, and you 4th down conversion towards to the 5-yard line to an injured Davante Adams still making plays. We overcame a lot today. We overcame a lot, and I think we overcame a lot. The players on the field overcame a lot. I don't see that the coaching staff really helped us out much. I think the players executing late in the game really helped us out. Those 2 questionable calls in those 2 last drives, punting the ball and then throwing the ball on 1st down when we had 2.5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
almost 3 minutes left on the 5-yard line. It just doesn't make a lot of sense, man. It doesn't make a lot of sense. You have to protect your quarterback. Your rookie quarterback making his first start, you have to protect him, and that's not having him throw 39, 40 times. That's not protecting him.
I was wrong. Tom Brady is slower.
Really?
Yeah. You want to guess? Guess they're 40 times?
Well, was Brady like 5'2" something?
5'17".
5'17". Okay, so he was Favre was probably like 5'08".
4'96".
Whoa! Hey, you know what? Hey, Farva, my freaking bad. My bad.
Usain Bolt. He's in the 4s. Come on, he's in the 4s.
My bad.
With a mustache like that, you got to be at least in the 4s. 4'96". Let's have that guy. Like that was the biggest thing with him, right? Was just like, well, he's just like a pure pocket passer. Like he's not mobile. So it's like, oh, let's get him moving. Let's get him running. Yeah. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Let's do that. The defense played outstanding by our defensive standards.
Yeah, he pitched a shutout in the second half, man.
Shut out in the second half.
Look. Before we go any further.
One stop.
Hang on. Before we go any further. They allowed 14 points on turnovers.
Yeah.
On fumbles. So it wasn't even that bad. They did much better than the 24 points would have you see.
Yeah.
They did much better than that. So big ups to the defense, even though they made a lot of bonehead plays. Big up to the defense for hunkering down where they needed to. You give an offense this explosive two opportunities within their 30-yard line, they're going to score touchdowns, and that's what they did. So 14 of those points were off of turnovers. And honestly, if you don't have a plan to block Khalil Mack, what are you doing? I just don't get it.
Khalil Mack 6 sacks against his former team. Just a man possessed. He didn't have any sacks all season, and of course, he chooses the Raiders to go buck wild. Khalil Mack with 6 sacks, Farva with 3 turnovers, and still it was a game. Justin Herbert only 13 of 24 for 167 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. By far his worst game of the season against the worst defense you'd be facing on paper. Again, defense good by their standards. They had a lot of screw ups, like you mentioned. 2 easily dropped interceptions, just like on the same drive. And that cost us 3 points. Just easily dropped interceptions. A ton of missed tackles to start the game.
Oh God.
Justin Herbert, this defense made Justin Herbert look like Barry Sanders. Like he was shucking and jiving on guys. Just awful start defensively. But they hunkered down. They hunkered down, held a really, really good quarterback scoreless in a whole half, which is really impressive. Shima 86, thank you so much for the super chat. Much appreciated. I say stick with AOC here on out. It's not too early, or it's too early to give up on the season. And I think that's what it would look like if you're going with AOC the rest of the way out.
All right, hang on a second. Let's take a step back.
Okay.
When we were able to give him time, the offense looked much better with Aiden O'Connell running it than when we've been able to give Jimmy Garoppolo time.
Yeah.
He made more completions down the field. The offense looked smoother. It looked better. It loosened up the defense for a week so we could run the ball a little bit better. I don't think that sticking with Aiden O'Connell would be giving up on the season, because looking at what we've seen in 3 games from Jimmy Garoppolo and 1 game from Aiden O'Connell, when we've been able to protect them, they've been, look, as far as the turnovers go, we can still protect Jimmy Garoppolo and he'll still turn the ball over. Okay.
I will say this. I will say this. 3 turnovers by Farva, rookie, gonna happen. I will say he did hold the ball a long time, and that's what caused 2 of those 3 fumbles. It was 4 seconds into his drop, and he's still holding the ball. Guys are getting pushed into him while he's trying to pull it back or throw it. Got, dropped. Garoppolo's way better about moving in the pocket and buying time. I'm with you. You're correct. The offense, when, Khalil Mack wasn't, giving Aiden O'Connell an enema, he played pretty well. 24-39, 238 yards, 1 interception, sacked 7 times. Of course, he had that rushing touchdown as well. I'm looking at it through the eyes of what Josh McDaniels would do. And I feel like he's going to look at it as, oh, I'm punting on the season. Let's have this rookie develop. I think that's how he would look at it. Mac Bud, thank you so much for the super chat. 10 pounds. What is that, 15 American? Why the hell do we make another team's player have an all-pro game? Let the Farva loose. Normally, the cure for your bad quarterback woes is to play the Raiders. And that's been the cure.
Oh,
right?
Yeah. If you're a young player and you haven't really gotten it together, or you're an older player who's trying to show that you still got it, Play the Raiders.
Raiders, right? That'll cure you right away. You know what I mean? With the Raiders are the rebound check. You know what I mean? You're like, oh, I'm on a 7-month dry spell. I'll shoot a text to the fat secretary. I'll get the rebound. That's been the Raiders defense. I mean, look, you'd think after like the third sack by Khalil Mack, it'd be like, okay, let's double team him. I think it was Rory who posted the tweet from somebody. It's like, it should be really easy to know how to stop Khalil Mack. Just do whatever other offenses do to Max Crosby and just do it to Khalil Mack. Other than the holding part, right?
It makes a ton of sense.
You're not gonna have that on our side. Mr. False Info, thank you so much for the super chat. Offensive pass interference not called on the Chargers. Fake ass crack back block penalty when in scoring position. Holding on Chargers not called all day. Chicken shite. Yeah. Those aren't even the most egregious penalties. You know what the most egregious penalty was? That fake the tuck rule. That fumble. That's tuck rule. And it went against us. How ironic. What are the odds? Yeah. I mean, if that doesn't show you what's going on with the NFL and the Raiders, I don't know what does. Charles Woodson chiming in. Wow, the old tuck rule bit the Raiders in the ass again.
So where do you want to start, man? It's a lot to talk about.
There's a lot to talk about. Thank you so much again for the super chats, everybody. Let's go to... How about I don't know, man. I don't know where to start. It's wild. That Davante injury when he was out for a little bit, that was on Farva. He threw it behind. And so instead of doing it on that out route or like an over route, like if it was in front of him or even like right on him, he could have kept going away from the defender, but he had to turn around into the defender. And so he didn't get the catch. And then because he was turning into him, the defender grabbed him and his shoulder was in this position. When he fell on it, it hurt it. Garoppolo or Farva, doesn't matter. They're trying to kill Davante Adams.
Yeah, man. It's he's just getting so much attention. Yeah. Guys are going after him, and they're going to continue to go after him until stuff's being called. And he's getting a little bit frustrated. He's getting held a lot. He's getting pushed around a lot, and it's kind of weird to not get that stuff being called on him. Being a superstar player that he is. But
when in doubt, Davante on the out. That was basically the whole last drive, which is out routes to Davante. And that fourth down catch, getting the toe and then elbow down. Mwah. Beautiful.
Yeah. So it didn't start off great for the defense. Divine Diablo had a terrible game. Yeah. Both our linebackers played pretty poorly. Divine Diablo on that long run, that 50-something yard run to start the game, he just got caught in the wash, got turned around. That was his tackle to make. He got caught in the wash, whiffed on the tackle, didn't even touch him. He got broken tackles in the open field when you have your hands on the running back. The guy just runs through you and just breaks the tackle.
Yeah.
He had a sack, let him go.
Yep.
At least just grab onto him and hang on to him.
He ran right into him. Like a clean shot on Justin Herbert, just ran right into him and then just fell over. And then just stopped.
Yeah, it's hard when players are just making bonehead plays. You got Tillery out there. I don't know what the hell he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's not really giving us much. Should we just cut him? I don't know. I don't understand. I don't understand what was going through his mind at the time.
In fairness to Divine Diablo, this tackle was pretty awesome.
Or when the guy jumped into his arms.
Yeah, jumped into his arms and just bodied him.
To make a play when the guy jumped into him.
I know, it was sweet.
Yeah, I'm not going to give him any credit for that. Sorry,
I will.
He jumped right into his arms. You love doing that. You love giving credit to people that you like when they don't deserve it, which is fine.
That was cool.
He played terrible.
He did play terrible. That tackle was cool. Unquestionably awesome.
How old are you? Are you like, oh man, I every year you get a different jersey from a player because they won the championship? Oh, this guy's cool now. Who cares what cool is, man?
I do. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Oh yeah, I'm not gonna enjoy anything of this game because we lost. It was a cool tackle.
Well,
from a bad player.
Do you want to talk about the game, or do you want to be silly and you want to talk about dumb stuff?
Oh, when am I allowed to be silly, Soto? Give me the rules. Give me the rules when I'm
No,
allowed.
I'm just saying.
I've been trying this
whole time. I've been trying this whole time to talk about the game, and you're trying to do everything you can to talk about everything but the game.
I brought up one fun thing. That's it.
Farva is, running and
that had everything to do with the game. You have your guy who ran a 5-second 40 rolling out. That had everything to do with the game. That was the game. That decided the game. That play.
All right, you're absolutely right, RJ. What do you want to talk about next? Since you run the show every single time, every single day, please go ahead.
Well, do you want to talk positive stuff or negative stuff?
No, I'm asking about you, man. Go ahead. You run the show.
Well, I don't want you to get mad. I don't want you to get mad again and leave.
I'm not mad. I want to know where we're going with this.
Well, if you want to talk game and be miserable, how about those 3 plays where Davante Adams gets hurt on that pass, right? Leaves for a little bit, came back, looked fine. I'm sure he was still hurt. Farva fumbles the next play. The next play, Maxx Crosby gets juked to hell.
Yeah, he got
by Sporty Spice. Off. And then Jerry Tillery with, I'd have to go back. That's probably the stupidest penalty of the season. Just laying out a quarterback who's clearly out of bounds. That was a 3-play stint for the Raiders. Max owes Tillery a muffin basket because everyone forgot how he got super juked by Sporty Spice because Tillery took all the attention and got ejected.
Cool.
Okay. How about Hunter Renfrow getting a personal foul called on him? That never happens. Normally it's like, it's just free reign on Hunter Renfrow. Do whatever you want to him. The ref's earpiece must have been broken or something.
It was pretty ticky-tack too.
Yeah. No, it was a slam, dude. It was like he was over his head.
No, not that one. I thought you meant on the route. Was that Hunter again, or was that was who was the illegal contact on?
I don't remember.
I don't know Hunter?
What you're talking about. I'm talking about when Hunter.
Oh, when he got picked up and slammed. Oh yeah. That was.
He did like a complete inversion.
Like, he picks him up. The whistles are blowing. The whistles have been blowing. He picks him up, and then he slams him. Like if Hunter didn't tuck, he would have slammed him on his head.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't get kicked out for that. For like the whistles are blowing, you have him, and then
he's not a quarterback. He's Hunter Renfrow.
He drops him on his head.
You can do whatever you want to Hunter Renfrow.
I guess
we've learned through the years. You'd have to execute him in the town square to get a penalty on Hunter Renfrow normally, but he actually got one this time. Good for him.
You missed it.
How about the streak was broken? We got a takeaway. It only took 14 quarters? 14 quarters to get a takeaway after 2 dropped interceptions?
3 chances. Yeah, it took the third chance.
Gift wrapped.
That one caught him, I think.
Justin Herbert was getting out the wrapping paper for Christmas, putting bows on it. I mean, that was just right. You could have intercepted that one, Soto. But hey, we got our first takeaway.
He caught it with a wrapped up thumb. Have you seen? Well, it's better now because now he only has this, and he has his fingers open.
Mm.
But that thing was just right in his gut.
Mana Keohi. Hopefully I got that right. Thank you for the super chat. Much appreciated. On that 50-yard run, Crosby got bit again going inside. His freedom has been compromised in the defense all year. Are we really going to try to blame Maxx Crosby for a defensive breakdown?
Man, I know what you're saying. I get it. I understand it. At the point of attack, he did collapse because he dove inside. I'm not sure if that was the design because if you look at the play again, Diablo was right there to make the play, and I don't know what he was looking at. I don't know what he was looking at in that play. It could be that he should have kept outside contained, but Diablo was right there. So I saw the same thing, and I wondered the same thing until they had a replay of it, and we don't know what the defensive call was and what he was supposed to do on that play, but he did get caught inside. I'll give you that.
It's 2 sides of the same coin. okay, if you don't always know what Maxx Crosby's doing, then you have to adjust. But Maxx Crosby is so disruptive, you have to let him off the leash. You have to let him off the leash because he's so disruptive. So yeah, every now and then he'll break contain, but he's also like him and Josh Jacobs single-handedly kept this game close. Him and Josh Jacobs. Like Josh McDaniels, terrible game. You got a fourth-round rookie quarterback dropping interceptions. It was just like their plays.
Interception in the red zone.
Two of them. One in the end zone, one in the red zone. Two of them. Same drive, cost us 3 points. And the Chargers were minus 6.5. I lost my bet because they got that field goal. Terrible.
Feng Vu. I don't know that that's necessarily the case, man. It didn't look pretty, but we didn't give up any points in the second half. We got a big fourth down stop to get us the ball back.
We held Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert to 24 points after coughing up the ball 3 times. That's pretty. That's pretty good. That's especially by our standards, right? Especially by Raiders defensive standards, which is terrible. I mean, the offense. This is again 4th game in a row. The defense played better than the offense. We're the only team in football that hasn't been able to put up 20 points. Only team in football haven't been able to put up 20 points.
I don't know how many interceptions Marcus Peters is going to drop before we actually start talking about why we got him.
I mean, the first one you dropped, we were talking about it.
Yeah, no, I mean,
the whole reason he's here.
Talking about that, now it's like, okay, why did we give him so much money if he's just gonna? Is he pressing because he wants to do something big for the Raiders? I don't. What's going on here?
You want to be more depressing? You want to look at Khalil Mack's stat line?
Oh, I know. 10, it was freaking nasty.
10 total tackles, 8 solo, 6 sacks, tied for second all time. 5 tackles for loss, 1 pass batted down, 4 quarterback hits.
Yeah, it's about right.
1-man wrecking crew. It didn't matter which side it was on, Illuminor or Miller. He was still going.
Well, Miller did a better job than Illuminor did. There's a couple times Illuminor didn't even touch him.
Yeah.
Mac hit him with the freaking crossover, the little jab step,
so and he even had help. I know what play you're talking about. Jakob Johnson had it was like a chip before he ran his route.
Yeah.
And that kind of messed with Illuminor's head. He's just he's waiting for Jakob to finish. No, you don't wait.
You hit him at the same time.
You still you're just I
have a guy here.
Let me get out of the way.
I go here because my other guy is here, and we just go this way.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Jakob, because it was a chip, he got Khalil Mack's momentum going inside, and so that's how he got Illuminor was he was all right, I'm already on this inside move. Let me just juke and keep going.
Hit him. What is that called? The Euro step in basketball, where they
the Texas 2-step.
Dude, he hit him hard with that twice. Oh, it was terrible.
Maxx Crosby had himself a game as well. Led the team in tackles, 8 total tackles, 5 solo, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 quarterback hits. He was all over the place, man. Even when he wasn't making plays, he's swatting at the ball, eating up double teams on the back end. Even by his standards, he had a really good game. Not even stats wise, but just by his standards, he played really, really well.
He played really well. Look, our star players showed up today. Max showed up, Jacob showed up, and of course Davante showed up.
Yeah.
The problem is the supporting cast didn't do their job. We have guys missing assignments on tackles, the linebackers, both Spillane on that. Answer me this. How does a running back who's probably 40 pounds lighter than you block you where you can't disengage from him and let Herbert run around you for a touchdown?
Yeah.
That was awful. I'm like, dude, he didn't even freaking try.
Our linebackers are as bad as advertised.
They played like backups.
As bad as we feared the linebackers to be, they are that bad.
They got exposed today. They flashed some ability, but a lot of mental mistakes, man. A lot of mental errors. The 2 dropped. Let's just call it 1 because honestly, it's on the same drive. You kill the same drive, whatever. Another dropped interception chance. It's dumb penalties. It's we ran the ball much better, but our pass blocking was very poor. And
yeah,
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the to me, like the second biggest storyline of this game behind, Farva making his first start was the battle of inept head coaches. You have Brandon Staley versus Josh McDaniels. Who's going to blow it the most? And it was Josh McDaniels this time.
McDaniels out crappy coached him.
Yeah.
He out crappy coached
I'm not going to say I'm taking dumps anymore. I'm going to say I'm taking JMDs.
I'm taking JMDs. Yeah.
I dropped a big JMD before the show because I was so disgusted. 3 big mistakes out of JMD stood out. When he rushed that third and short on the goal line, when Davante Adams got that catch on the goal line and it was a touchdown.
Yeah, he should have taken the flag.
We got to rush. We got to rush and go do it. It's like, no, you throw the flag and you take the touchdown, right? And so he's like, oh, we got to rush and get to the goal. Like he outsmarted himself. He's like, oh, we got to be quick. It's like, no, like that's a touch. And that's on staff too, right? He needs to have someone in his ear being like, throw the flag. That was a clear touchdown. Like the announcers went over it like 3 times. Like that's a touchdown. Luckily, Josh Jacobs bailed him out on 4th and short, but that could have
been disastrous.
That would have been really, again, Josh McDaniels made some, just because like he got bailed out doesn't make the decisions worse, right? Like if we would have been stopped on 4th and short, like people would be screaming about that stupid call by, that stupid move by JMD, but because, Josh Jacobs bailed him out on 4th and short, he got it. So that was 1. 2, we talked about it already on that final offensive possession, 1st and goal on the 5. There's almost 3 minutes left in the game. Why aren't you running the ball? Josh Jacobs is hot. You run the ball there. You're trying to kill time, protect your rookie quarterback. Josh Jacobs never fumbles. He's so sure-handed. And he's playing great. $12 million. Do we give it to our $12 million running back who led the league in rushing last season? Or do we put the ball in the hands of Mr. 5-second, 40-yard rookie 4th rounder quarterback and have him decide? Like, what are you doing? What are you thinking there?
It just doesn't make sense, man. It doesn't make sense. If you want to take a step back and you want to look at some positives, because we did get some positives from this game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll start with the least positive. Josh McDaniels proved me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Josh McDaniels proved me wrong. I said he needs to do specific things in order to help his offense, to help put a little bit of doubt in the defense, to help sprinkle up and switch up some of his play calling so it's not so predictable. And he did that. He did more motion. He had more players on the move during the snap, and it helped, okay? Especially in the run game. So he did that. That's a positive. The defense, although they started off kind of shaky, they got it together. I think that's kind of like what I said. Patrick Graham cannot just sit back in a shell and expect players who have shown they can't create turnovers on their own to do so. They have to force teams into bad plays, into bad throws, which we did. And we weren't playing just a shell defense, and we were playing more man, and we're bringing pressure more often. So Patrick Graham deserves a lot of credit for his second half adjustments because we blanked him in the second half. So great job. Aiden O'Connell, when he was able to work the offense to get it into a rhythm, he played really well. He targeted the ball further down the field and threw the ball, pushed the ball further down the field. He did a lot of checkdowns, which is good. You want him to do that.
Dude, the Chargers just refused to cover Josh Jacobs out of the backfield. They're just like, defensive genius Brandon Staley's like letting Josh Jacobs just run wide. Like no one covered him out of the backfield ever.
Yeah, so it's the issue that we're going with Aiden O'Connell is he's a rookie quarterback playing his very first game against probably a borderline, maybe Hall of Fame. He's dropped off the last few years, but a Hall of Fame defensive end. And we don't have a good plan to block him.
You know, it's even more
that's really the only thing that could mess up a game plan for a rookie who has promise in his first start. Is don't let him be comfortable in the pocket. You let him throw his timing off because he can't go through his progressions. Is he going to be the best going through his progressions right now? No, because it's his first time seeing live rounds, right? Live in-game action. Is it going to get better? Yes. This is the worst we're going to see of Aiden O'Connell because he's going to get better every game until we see his plateau of who he's going to be.
Yeah.
But don't think that this is who Aiden O'Connell is going to be the rest of his career. This is his very first start playing with an offensive line that severely underperformed today.
You know what makes the Khalil Mack thing even worse? That Joey Bosa wasn't playing. Like, it wasn't even like, oh man, pick your poison. There's 2 all-pro guys. Like, no, just one guy. You just got to worry about one guy. And you didn't.
Honestly, I think it might have been better for us schematically if he did play, because there would have been more of an emphasis on maybe not as many guys out in the route and on the pass protection. And a lot of times it was just 5 on 4. It was just, okay, our 5 guys are going to block your 4 guys.
Maybe schematically would have been better, but it definitely would have been better. If Khalil Mack can get 6 without Bosa, what do we have got? What have we had with Bosa? 10? Like, it would have been a bloodbath.
It's difficult to say. It's difficult to say, but I know that with a better plan, maybe it would have been a little bit better execution.
I'm going to safely say that having Joey Bosa would have been worse for us. And I don't think that's too big of a stretch. I thought Aiden O'Connell, he made the rookie in his first start mistakes, which, like, again, isn't good, but it's like, yeah, he held the ball too long. Yeah, because he's like the game's going so much faster than he's used to, right? Playing in college to the NFL, held the ball too long, didn't protect the ball, right? Those are those are rookie mistakes, which I guess is better than like being super off target or, you know what I mean? Like functional mistakes as opposed to rookie. He made the rookie mistakes, which is better than making the other kind. Sam A, thank you for the super chat. No, once a Raider, always a Raider for Mac. I can't stand him. F him. Should we get a ruling on that?
Great against us.
Can we do? Should we make a ruling on this? Is he officially on the shit list?
He's
Where, Jar?
He's not a Raider right now because he's playing for the Chargers.
Yeah.
Once he retires, we will welcome him back.
Do we? Do we welcome him back?
I will.
What if he spends more time on the Chargers than with the Raiders?
Doesn't matter.
Does it matter? Okay.
Doesn't matter. He helped us win games single-handedly.
Same
thing for anyone else. Like I said, I'm very simple. It's the same rule for everyone. You're wearing the silver and black, you're a Raider. You're not wearing the silver and black, you're not a Raider. Once you retire and you don't wear anybody, welcome home.
What if he retires as a Charger?
That's fine. I don't care.
You're a generous man. I don't know. I'm still on the fence. I don't have a. I hate doing. My ass hurts from sitting on this fence so hard. I don't.
You sitting on the fence? No freaking way.
It's a white picket fence that I'm sitting on, and my ass hurts so bad.
Because brown.
I got to think about that. Sam A, come back in a month. I got to think about this. I got to think about it because he does have a Raider tattoo. Belushi has a plan. Hire him. Thank you, McBud. The super chat.
Dude, McBud is freaking buying my bud for the next week or so. Like a super chat.
I know those are pounds, man. Is that a pound? Right? That's a pound.
Yeah, those are pounds. That's like probably $13. Yeah.
It's like 1.5. Well, hold on. If you did get hired by the Raiders, what job would it be?
What job do I want, or
both? If the Raiders hired you, what's the most realistic job? Like, what if they did hire you in realistic land? What would the job be? And then,
so my background is in like business development, management, stuff like that. That's my background. So maybe something in that,
like janitor.
Yeah. What do I want to do? I would want to do something with the players, something like I can work with the players closer.
Like assistant to the offensive coordinator or something. Just like you're part of it. Like you're
maybe not on the field stuff, but like off the field stuff, like a media liaison type of thing, or you got to go through me to get to the.
I know the head of social media at the Raiders. He was the UFC social media guy.
Tell him I wear a Superman t-shirt to the games. No, yeah,
man. Shima 86. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Is we won today, Staley would have been fired. If we won today, Staley would have been fired. Probably, especially how it went down, blowing a 24-7 lead. Especially our D stopping them on that dumb 4 inches call. Anyway, excuse me. Can we afford to fire McDaniels? We still got to pay Gruden. Mark Davis has plenty of money. Like when we start talking about,
don't buy into that.
We're
Don't
always
buy into
talking
that.
about
We don't have
money with players because salary cap. Because that's where we're like, oh, can we get Chandler Jones's money back? Can we do, because salary cap and that matters. With coaching, it's not salary cap. Mark Davis has the money. Like, yeah, he would be if we fired Josh McDaniels, he's probably still paying Gruden. He'd have to pay McDaniels and he'd be paying another head coach. But you know what? When you hire bad head coaches, you got to make those payments. That's on you. And he's in there. And again, like we talked about before, Mark Davis is in the rare position where he doesn't care about money because wins or losses, that stadium's full. No matter what. He's in that rare, enviable position.
So you have to ask yourself. You have to ask yourself if you're Mark Davis, is there a line? Mm-hmm. That's the first question you have to ask. Is there a line where the losing finally starts to bug you that much where you'll do something about it? Yeah. Now, if there is a line, then where is the line? Because again, like you said, financially, it's not gonna go. It doesn't matter whether they're winning or losing. It doesn't matter. So he's gonna make his money. He's got parking, all the concessions, all that stuff he's making. He's making money hand over fist. Okay. Mm-hmm. Plus, that stadium is in a primo spot. It's in a primo city. It's full almost every single freaking night with something. Mm-hmm. So he's making money like crazy. Okay. That's not the issue here. Is when is he going to get tired of not having it be 70% Raider fans at his games? At the stadium that he fought so hard that his dad wanted built for his entire career as an owner. When is he going to get tired of that? And then when is he going to start doing the things that he needs to do instead of just getting people's advice of old Raider guys like, oh, who should I hire? Yeah, you've been here a long time, or you were somebody that my dad talked to. Well, you know what? The last 10, 12 years of your dad's tenure wasn't all that great. So maybe you should not do that.
I'll ask you this, Soto. Is the money from away fans any more green than the money of Raider fans? I think it'll bother Mark Davis, and he'll certainly tell people it bothers him, but he's making more money than he ever has before.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was my first question. Is there a line?
Yeah, I don't know.
Is there a line?
And especially this game, because Josh McDaniels can use my quarterback was injured excuse, right? And we still kept it close, blah, blah, blah. Like, he's got that in his back pocket for sure. Did Aiden O'Connell, we're not calling him AOC. His name's Farva on this show. Did Farva do enough to bench Jimmy? I think in the eyes of me and Soto, I'd rather develop him than Jimmy G, who's just a bridge quarterback for a season that we're 1-3 in, and it's not looking all that great. But I don't think in Josh McDaniels' eyes he did. I don't think Josh McDaniels, I don't think in his eyes, which is like the only real eyes that matter, he did. I mean, 3 turnovers is pretty brutal.
Well, you have to look at it from this perspective. If you're trying to keep your job, even if you're losing, you don't want it to look like you don't care that you're losing.
Yeah. It looks like you're throwing the white flag if you start Farva.
Even though RJ and I agree, I mean, I don't know, you haven't said that you agree with me or not, but even though I've said that the offense just looks better being run with Farva at quarterback. It looks more like what it's supposed to look like. The running game was a lot better. We were targeting players further down the field. Even with all the checkdowns, he was still throwing the ball a little bit, further down the field. So it did look better. When we were able to keep him upright, he was able to complete balls. He got better as the game went along. Yeah. He didn't have all those dumb plays that he had, holding the ball too long. His internal clock wasn't there in the first half.
Yeah, I think I'm going to disagree because I don't think Jimmy G has those 2 fumbles because he moves better in the pocket. Like he feels pressure, right? And he kind of moves around the pocket a lot better. Whereas Farva is just standing there and a dude's getting ran into him and he's dropping, he's fumbling, right? Like that feel comes with reps, which he clearly doesn't have, right? In his first NFL start. So it's like, I still think Jimmy G gives you a better chance to win October 1st, 2023 But I'm starting to give up on this season and say, like, all right, let's see what Aiden's got. Let's give him the reps instead of Jimmy G. But definitely Josh McDaniels isn't giving up on this season because that's giving up on his job. Mr. False Info, again, thank you for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Farva will be good just by his resilience and poise displayed. This was a tough out, especially when you're up against the league and refs. So I was listening to our boy Vic Tafer on the Athletic podcast, and this was it was midweek when they weren't sure. Because remember like later in the week, we were like 90% sure Jimmy G was going to be out of concussion protocol and start. Like that was kind of like the feel, right? The reports were like there's a good chance he plays. And then obviously he didn't. And Tafer had this weird statement. He's like, look, why if you're going to start Farva, you got to do it against a team that's not great. Like you don't want to like crush his confidence, give him a layup. I was like, the Chargers have the 32nd, like last in the league pass defense. And it's the only real home game you're going to have all season. Like the stadium is
it's a
more
home
Raider
game.
fans.
You're going against a bad defense. You're going against a known opponent.
It's like this was the game. And that's something to remember too. Like this was if Farva was going to look good against any defense, it was this one or maybe the Bears coming up or the Broncos. Like it's Chargers, Bears, or Broncos are the worst defenses we're going to play. And this is when he started. That's another thing taking into consideration too, how bad the Chargers passing defense is when we're saying like, all right, are we going to start him? Is he the man? It's literally the worst passing defense in the league. I think we have Jimmy G today. We win. I don't think we have those two fumbles. I mean, I can't predict anything else, but I don't think those two fumbles happen if we have Jimmy G.
Here's the issue that I'm running into. So let's just say everything else is equal, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have the two fumbles on one hand. On the other hand, you have a better running game because you're pushing the ball further down the field, which Jimmy G has shown he can't do.
Yeah.
So are we able to move the ball at all with Jimmy G? That's the thing you have to take a look at. Because O'Connell did some good things in this game, despite his fumbles, despite the last pass, which he shouldn't have been throwing. He shouldn't have thrown that pass anyway.
Yeah.
But he did do some good. The thing that you're going into this game knowing you have a rookie quarterback making his very first start in the NFL. You know that.
4th round rookie, right? It isn't like Trevor Lawrence's debut, right? It's a 4th round rookie.
And here's the thing, though. We see him as a 4th round rookie. I don't think Aiden O'Connell sees himself as a 4th round rookie.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
I don't think he sees himself. I think he sees himself as somebody who should be playing. And he said, in the pregame interviews, he said that he's a little anxious, a little nervous, and it showed in the first half. It showed he looked better in the second half. We'll see, how he does and how Jimmy G does, and what the decision is at quarterback moving forward. But if you're looking at a quarterback to do the most to help you win in his very first start as a rookie, you're looking in the wrong spots. You need a better game plan, passing wise, better play calling, better situational coaching by the coach. You need to have better play by your offensive line, better protection, and you have your hopefully your defense can help bail you out once or twice, and they did once with the Merrick interception. So 1 out of 4 is not good. 1 out of 4 things you want to have happen is not good.
Make no mistake. Like maybe you're right, Fang. If Jimmy G played today, we win. Like I tend to kind of agree with you, but make no mistake, we lost this game because of Josh McDaniels.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of blame to go around. There's plenty of blame to go around. Terrible tackling, a bunch of mistakes, dropped intercept. Like a lot of people didn't play well. But if you're going to blame one person, it's Josh McDaniels. And this goes down to like you're talking about like prepping for a rookie, and that's just so Josh McDaniels. It's like, all right, here's my system, bend to it. Not I have a rookie 4th rounder starting on 1 day notice. That's the other part too, right? If he was a 1st rounder making his debut, he spends all training camp as QB1. He's getting all the first reps, right? The head coach, if he's not Josh McDaniels, is building an offense around his strengths, right? I was like, oh, we got to build our offense around him, right? Like, but no, it's a 4th rounder when again, like it just, no one like reported it solidly, but it felt like Friday and Saturday was like, oh, we're like 80%. Jimmy G is going to be able to come back. Like the reporting gave that vibe out. And so he's coming in.
And we're acting like Jimmy G's been like, Fort Knox safe when it comes to protecting the ball. He's got 6 turnovers in 3 games. Okay. So let's just calm our pits. Okay. With all that talk. It's a shame that Josh McDaniels seems to take 1 step forward and 2 steps back when it comes to his coaching. And he just doesn't see the big picture. He's so focused on the plays and how to do this and how to do that. He doesn't understand people. He doesn't understand that, this guy may be feeling a certain way about playing his first game. Let me make things easier for him. And in certain ways he did with his plays, but his calling of the game and stuff like that, it was very it was rough, man. It was really rough. I
would have loved to see Farva if he was getting all the first team reps all week. You know what I mean? Like,
look, he's just going to get better, man. He's just going to get better. He got better second half and first half. He got better.
Yeah, like we know you're starting this week. We're building this game plan, knowing you're QB1. You're getting all the QB1 reps. I would have loved to. That would have been a very different game, I think. So I think there's a couple of things. Like, yes, I think Jimmy G would have given us a better chance to win, but that comes within a whole package deal, right? Because he is QB1 and they thought he was going to play and the offense is built, he was brought in to run Josh McDaniels' offense. So was Farva, but, not specifically tailored to his strengths, right? Because he does have a better deep ball than Jimmy G. There's all those, all those things kind of come together.
You see a couple of questionable throws, right? Like something in the triple team, one in a double team. Like you're going to get that with a rookie quarterback. You're just going to have to live with that from a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
Okay, but then you see, and it's a real shame that this happened to Hunter Renfrow because we've been talking about him getting targeted or not getting targeted. He slips and falls on a nice pass over the middle by Aiden O'Connell. If he would have been able to make that cut, it would have been in a nice tight window. It would have been a completed pass to Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah.
Then you see him just straight drop a pass for a first down.
Right off his hip.
Was it a little bit behind him? Sure, but that's a catch you got to make.
I'm calling that a drop. It was a little behind him, but I'm calling that.
I'm trying to be fair. It was a little bit behind him, but you got to, as a pro, you got to catch that ball. So it's not all his fault. I mean, he still completed like 60% of his passes, even though he was sacked 7 times. Okay, so let's just take a step back here and say, okay, now you have to think not only what you would do, but what is Josh McDaniels thinking? If Josh McDaniels could go in there and say, look, this offense looked better with Aiden O'Connell, with Farva in the game. It looked better than with Jimmy G. We can give him more reps in practice. He's going to get better. The first half of this next game is going to be better than the second half of the last game. Because the second half of the last game was better than the first half of the last game. Because it keep getting better as he gets more and more snaps. Yeah. If you can convince that, if you can let Mark Davis and convince Mark Davis that that's the way to go moving forward because you found your guy, and maybe it'll make you look better because you found him in the 4th round. I can see them switching over to Aiden O'Connell, but I don't have that much confidence in Josh McDaniels thinking that much outside the box. I think he's very linear in his thinking.
Like what's the most conservative possible choice? The least creative, most conservative.
I mean, the most conservative choice today would have been to start Hoyer. Because
I think the pressure got to him.
Yeah, I really do think the pressure got to him.
Well done, Raider Nation.
Either that or his coaches are just like, dude, look at them practice together.
Yeah.
He's better. He's better than Brian Hoyer. Brian Hoyer is a smart guy. He's been in the league a long time. He's very experienced. But Aiden O'Connell is better. I'm not saying much, but if he's better, he's better.
Well, with Aiden O'Connell, you had the what if factor, right? Like you don't know what you have with Aiden O'Connell. We really still don't, right? Like it takes several games to even get like it takes several
snapshots. We got snapshots.
Yeah, like we got a preseason in one game. You know what Brian Hoyer's win streak is right now or losing streak is?
12.
0-12 in his last 12. You know what you have with Hoyer. You don't know what you have with Aiden. And I think that's what captured the imagination of Raider Nation. Like there's certainly people that are like, oh, Aiden O'Connell's our savior. He's going to do amazing. And there's people like, oh, I think he sucks. I think the bulk of Raider Nation was just like, let's see what we got. Like, let's look under the hood of Aiden O'Connell. Like, that's what I think excited people about about Favre making his first start. I don't think people were predicting he was going to light everyone's tits on fire, but it was just like, let's find out, right? Like preseason's fool's gold. Let's see it for real when it matters. And we saw some good things, right?
Yeah.
All the rookie errors.
When he had time, he was good. He moved the ball.
But there are also times when he had time and just held it too long, and those were those 2 fumbles too. Like that
was in the first half. He got better in the second half. Yeah.
I do have to give a hat tip to Justin Herbert. He was trying to block Maxx Crosby on that turnover, and that's how he broke his finger.
Broken finger,
dude. Hey, you've got a headband that makes you look like a JV girl soccer player, but you said I'm blocking, or I'm going for this tackle, and I'm going to take on Maxx Crosby to get the tackle. Like, I tip my hat to you, sir. You took on Maxx Crosby head on, and it cost you your left middle finger, but you did it. I was like, wow, okay.
Let me ask you a question.
There you go, G.
Let me ask you a question, because I'm conflicted about this.
Okay.
Do you think that McDaniels called the play he did on the Favre interception to make Favre look better so it's easier to start him, or to not make Jacobs look better if he got another touchdown?
I definitely don't think the second part. I don't think anything about making
that was
Josh
the big
Jacobs look
thing.
good
That
or
was
bad.
the big scuttlebutt this week. Was it's been no surprise that Josh McDaniels didn't like Derek Carr and he doesn't like Josh Jacobs.
I don't think he does that, because he's given Josh Jacobs the ball in those situations before. He's had game plans wrapped around him before. I don't think the second one definitely
he was
not.
Forced to last year.
The second one definitely not.
Okay.
The first
okay, I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm saying I asked your opinion. So
the first part, I doubt it. I think it's just Josh McDaniels he's a computer. He's a cyborg. It's like, here's my playbook. Page 32, Article 4, line 6. At this situation, after I've ran these plays, we're at this position. We're at first and goal at this. This is what I do. It's just like, and that's the problem, is he's a robot. And it's just like, this is what I do in these situations. We do this now, and this is the call. I've done these plays, which sets up these plays, and now we're doing this, and you adjust to my system. I don't care that you're a rookie. I don't care that you're a 4th rounder. I don't care that Josh Jacobs is playing awesome. He's just like, this is what I do. And he doesn't like take a step back and be like, there's 2 minutes, 30 seconds left. Josh Jacobs is playing out of his mind. We got to kill clock. We're giving him $12 million. A 4th round rookie. He's already turned the ball over twice. Let's put it in the hands of our $12 million running back.
Our rookie has thrown the ball 40 times in his first start.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what you want from a first start rookie. And because he's thrown the ball so much, he's had more turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't a smart move.
Josh Jacobs had 17 carries. Aiden O'Connell had 39 attempts.
That's a lot. That's right? A lot of attempts. Hell, that was a lot of attempts last year for Derek Carr.
Yeah.
When we were talking about it, like, we don't want him to throw that much. We want him to run the ball with Jake. That's the way that this offense should run. So why are you letting a rookie making his first start throw the ball 40 times when you didn't want your quarterback, who was a 9-year veteran, who you trusted with your offense, throw the ball 40 times? It just doesn't make sense.
McDaniels is a cyborg, and he does what his playbook says and doesn't adjust to anything. It's just like, this is what I do. This is what I do and how I do it.
It's insane. Look, I honestly hope that somebody that knows football is in Mark Davis's ear and is telling him this stuff. And he's not just getting snowballed over by the smoke and mirrors, because this has to be something that's brought up, and it has to be something that's discussed. We know that Mr. Davis meets with the head coach after every game. I hope that he's asking him the questions that the media isn't allowed to by the Raiders to follow up on. So when Josh McDaniels gives him a BS answer about, well, why'd you throw the ball on that last play? Well, it's, looking at the numbers and, we had confidence. Okay, no, it was dumb. Why don't you just use your running back, your $12 million franchise running back? Um,
And you're trying to kill clock. Like, if we just scored with 2:30, like you're giving Justin Herbert 2 minutes, 30 seconds, 2-minute warning, and timeouts. Like, everything said run Josh Jacobs. And that's probably him outsmarting himself, right? It's probably him just being like, oh, yeah, everyone thinks we're going to run, so I'm going to set Aiden O'Connell run. But you got 4 shots at it. Like,
Yeah,
4
right?
shots? Come on.
Goose, goddamn, you're a pretty handsome looking dude, man. What the hell are you doing with us? Zeus busted show some shake and bake. He did show a little bit of shake. We didn't really see that in the preseason, but he had a couple of nice runs. That's a good point.
3 carries for 15 yards. He had that 11-yarder. That's the best he's looked, which I think kind of isn't quite the compliment that we think it is. That's 3 carries. That's the best he's looked all,
I mean, all he can do is show out with the opportunities he's given.
Josh Jacobs, 8 receptions, 81 yards.
He looked really good out of the backfield, man.
He's so good out of the backfield now. He's probably
really good.
He might be the best. Damn, there's some really good ones. Yeah, he's way up there as far as like best running backs to have in passing situations, both blocking and receiving. He took some great. He had some great blocks in the backfield, which is why I was like, why do you always put Amir in the backfield every time you're passing? Like Jacobs does just as well, if not better. And Brandon Staley just refused to cover him. Every time Jacobs like scurried out of the backfield, it was just wide open for like, it's like a gimme 7 yards every single time.
So my chick's daughter went to the game, right?
Okay.
And it's like, that's just totally, no one's giving us tickets. No one's giving us tickets. But if you're a cute, young, 20-something year old, yeah, they're going to get tickets all the time, right? She has no idea what's going on. And she's like, hey.
Well, you might have given tickets to Goose. You liked how he looked. You might have given tickets to Goose.
He's a handsome dude, man. What do you want?
Yes.
So she's like, hey, I'm at the game or whatever. And I borrowed some of my mom's stuff. And she's got like all the stuff that I bought her mom. She's freaking wearing it. She has no idea what's going on in the game. But God bless her for cheering for the bad guys.
I think that about wraps it up for us. I do hope that someone got that ball when Aiden O'Connell scored that touchdown, got his very first touchdown, right? That QB sneak. I hope someone grabbed that ball and gave it to him, because Aiden O'Connell seems like too nice of a guy to be like, give me that, like too unselfish, I hope a teammate or a ball boy or a coach or somebody, I know Josh McDaniels didn't. I hope somebody grabbed that ball and gave it to Farva.
Goose, you better not be catfishing me, damn it. Better be you.
He had his first tackle too. He had that fumble. He got credited for a tackle. He got a touchdown and tackle.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, if you want to talk about a little bit more positive stuff, Tyree Wilson played a little bit better today. He was in the mix a little bit more. He didn't look like he was so out of sorts. Made a couple tackles.
He tied his season high of tackles. One tackle. You think that was good? You think that was?
He played better. He wasn't getting blown off.
He had a bad penalty. What was the penalty he had? Not a good penalty game, dude. We had some.
It's terrible. It was a really bad, terrible game.
9 penalties, only 80 yards. I thought it was more, but some bad turnovers, bad penalties, and that's coaching, man.
Well, we didn't get caught with a lot of PI. That's why. I mean, there was that offensive PI. That thing was kind of BS because, I mean, Keenan Allen did pretty much the same thing, and that didn't get called for it.
There was a smart PI against Davante. It was first quarter. Like
Davis was Davis pushed him out of bounds.
He's just like, all right, sorry, no, that was gonna be a touchdown for sure. That was a smart PI.
So what do you think? Yeah.
Biggest positives?
Yeah.
Biggest positives was defense holding a good offense to 0 in a whole half. Is that too broad?
No, that's good.
That's fine. Okay. First turnover or first takeaway.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yep, big.
We're no longer the only team with that. Our turnover differential is still awful. I think it's like 10 to 1. I think we have 10 giveaways. 9 to 1. It's still worse than the league, but at least we got one, right? With a guy with a busted hand, right? Merrick with the gift. So we got a takeaway. Defense showed up. Josh Jacobs is getting better. Each game he's getting better, which makes sense because he held out. But he's playing like inspired football. Like he looks pissed, motivated.
What I love about Josh Jacobs,
Better.
and not a lot of running backs are like this. They'll catch a ball and they'll turn into a receiver and try to be like, oh yeah, I'm going to be like this guy. No, Josh Jacobs catches the ball and he just turns around and he runs as if it was just a running play.
Yeah.
He's running through guys and like breaking tackles. He's not trying to make everybody miss or anything like that. And he's just north and south, getting as many yards as he can right off the rip. So
he's amazing when he's not getting mauled in the backfield.
When he's given a little bit of time, yeah, you know what? The interior
a defensive tackle,
offensive line.
a defensive tackle had a pass batted down. There is proof that we do have defensive tackles.
John Jenkins, yeah.
There are defensive tackles on the Raiders roster.
He had a decent game.
There are defensive tackles on the Raiders. I didn't think you could not prove to me that we had defensive tackles on the roster until that ball was tipped in the first quarter. I think it was the first drive. Tip ball. All right, what about you? Most positives.
I was again very encouraged by our defense in the second half. I was very encouraged by how Farva looked when he was able to get into a rhythm. It looked like a Josh McDaniels offense. You couldn't, with a little bit more finesse, but it looked very, and I know a lot of people are going to hate this, looked very Tom Brady-esque. Command of the offense, get the ball out quick.
Your
boom,
section.
boom, 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 boom. It's just, this is the worst we're going to see of him, right? He's going to get better. I don't have the confidence that Josh McDaniels is going to pull the trigger because of the fumbles. I think that's something that he can always say, well, you know, the fumbles and blah, blah, blah. And he's just going to ignore the six interceptions by Jimmy G the first 3 games. He's just going to ignore that stuff. But he's going to point, well, he's not ready. Look at the fumbles. The game's too fast for him. Well, yeah, the game slowed down in a half. After the half, the game slowed down for him, and he was better at it. One thing that I don't know if you noticed what he was doing, Farva was at the line. He was looking for Khalil Mack, and at the snap, he looked at the tackle to see if he got beat clean or not. Like, how much time am I going to have? And that's pretty freaking smart.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking smart. So he's a smart kid. That's the one thing we did. You got to be smart to go to Purdue. So he's a smart kid. He knows the offense. There was a couple of miscommunications, a couple of questionable decisions. But other than that, when he was given time to operate, the offense looked good. And I don't know that we could have asked too much more from a rookie quarterback making his first start, especially when his offensive line played so poorly. So that's another very good thing. And Josh Jacobs coming out, I think he had like 150 yards total offense or something like 135, 140, something like that of total offense. So
he had 58 yards rushing and 81 yards receiving. So 139.
All right, 140, yeah. So yeah, and a touchdown. Yeah, so he's coming back. So
his average still ain't great. 3.4 yards a carry. That's still
better than -2 yards. So we're priming in the right direction.
I've got this game gave me 2 questions. The first one is I not really a question, but I want to see Aiden O'Connell on a full week as QB1, and also against a defense that isn't the worst passing defense in football. I think that's also important to kind of gauge where he's at, right? Like he went against the worst passing defense in football. That needs to be taken into consideration when we look at like how he performed and where he goes moving forward. But he also did it super short notice. So I want to see those 2. Did Josh McDaniels take another? That's you.
You're going? Is that me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Did Josh McDaniels take one step closer, further away, or unmoved in getting fired?
I think he's one step closer.
Okay. Because it was a close game.
If we're looking at it with an analytical eye like you and I are, he did not help his rookie quarterback. It started from the beginning of the week when he didn't prepare Farva the way he should have. Then the questionable game plan, not offering more protection to Aiden O'Connell after he saw how bad both tackles were getting used by Khalil Mack.
Yeah.
Then the questionable calls towards the end, the punt, not going for the field goal, the pass at the end. You know, it's just you're not giving your or not running the ball at the end. You're just not giving yourself a chance. Again, you can have the best perfect play. You still want to maximize your percentage of success. And he doesn't. Josh McDaniels doesn't mix in the human element very well. It's all on the board, X's and O's. He's not about the Willie and Joes. He's about the X's and O's.
All right, well, that's it for us. Any breaking news or anything that's happening, we will keep you abreast of everything. I'll walk away with Soto's favorite play, leaving on the monitor for you. He was so happy about and so jacked about. And until then, knock on wood if you're with me.